Oh, come on through. Hi, welcome to African Travel and More. I'm Yolandra. This is Jeff. You are very welcome. And today, okay, maybe this topic, I don't know, because Jeff probably didn't really tell me what he thought about it. But the travel bans, that's what we want to talk about. The travel bans and how that affects our travel, and if it will affect your travel. Indirectly, yes, not directly. So hopefully, let's see. I'm trying to see who is in. I have to do mm, the Instagram. Okay, so yeah, that's what we want to talk about today. I don't know if you want to wait. Should we wait for people to join or just get into it because it's recorded? What do you think?
Just get into it.
Okay, let's get into it. So now we're coming from California, and yes, hopefully everyone is safe. We It's been a doozy this week with all the protests and all of that type of stuff happening. But we made it. We made it to Friday. Yes, thank God we made it to Friday. But yes, so welcome. Tell us where you're checking in from. We're gonna get started. We're talking about what's been happening this week in California. That's where we live, Southern California to be exact. We've been having the a lot of protests happening. It's been a lot of unrest. It's kind of making some people antsy, but we hope that everyone is safe. So what's happening with President Trump's travel bans? What does that mean for us? I want to put up the map and let me change our position, make it smaller and the map. So, right now, and Jeff, you jump in when you want to, there's a travel ban, and the countries that are affected, some are African countries, but so that's kind of what we'll touch on. But just for the knowledge, the countries that have total ban: Afghanistan, Myanmar, Chad, Republic of Congo, Equatorial Guinea, Eritrea, Haiti, Iran, Libya, Somalia, Sudan, Yemen, Burundi, Cuba, Laos, Sierra Leone, Togo, Turkmenistan, and Venezuela. And so, of the African countries, yes, we were just recently in Sierra Leone. And to tell you the truth, while we were in Sierra Leone, I think the talk of the ban first uh, popped up. So, what that looks like for us as US citizens, directly we're not affected by the ban, but indirectly it affects us. Say when we travel uh, to these countries, we might undergo extra security questions, and just a lot of unnecessary, in my opinion. But you know, a lot of the times we travel into the countries and we've been caught up in some of the political situations uh, while traveling. Okay, so it matters. It's important. You have to kind of be a little cautious about it. And I think you're wanting to say because you're bobbing your.
No, I'm just agreeing. Basically, the travel ban is, and I'm going to tell you the truth. There's, um, as annoying as it is, and as much as Trump can be capricious in his decisions, there is some foundation to some of the countries because we've been to many of the countries,
Mm-hmm.
and some were on the kind of the warning list, and some were on the complete ban list.
Mm-hmm.
And when we went through some of the processes with customs, immigration, and dealing with some of the governmental entities, some of them can be. I know we've seen them be compromised by people who don't have the best interest in that country or other country. They just happen to have money and connections.
Right.
Now, one of the things that was mentioned for the travel ban is that it was came across because of some of the way that the countries work with the United States, and a lot of people will overstay their visas here.
Oh,
so that was a big deal. People, kind of gathered. People overstayed their visas.
Yeah.
And then there were some people who were getting visas from countries, and they were doing nefarious things, but they were getting them. They were getting them on the black market.
Give an example. Yeah, give an example when you said nefarious things. As we were in Gambia, and are you referring to that?
Well, that's part of that. We were, in Gambia. We've been to Gambia several times, but we just happened to be talking about it. And then we've had friends who dispersions on Gambia. It's just to say that he knew how to get connections and do that.
Right.
And I'll tell you the truth, I don't know how to do that.
And I don't want to know how to do it.
Yeah, in the United States. So some of it is foundational.
Right.
Some of it looks racist. I don't know. It could be.
Well,
but it's just the fact of the matter is a lot of the poor countries have that problem with their infrastructure, with their governmental entities, with how they operate with their visa and government programs. And when you talk about poor countries, when you list all the top 20, 30 poorest countries, most of them in Africa, on the continent of Africa. You can't you can't work around that. That's just a fact. And when those countries are poor like that, they can be manipulated by a lot of people who have money, especially foreign investors and things like that. So that's a long-winded way of saying the bans are annoying. They could be biased, but some of it is foundational.
Right. True. What you're speaking is true. So a tip, what we should watch for when we're traveling is that we need to stay informed of policies. That is something we really have to be diligent and stay informed, because if we are not informed of the policies, oh my gosh, when you arrive in that country, and this just happened to us when we went to Cape Verde back in April, we weren't aware. I think Cape Verde was on this list at first.
They were on the list been kind of like moving around,
and they're not now.
They had a kind of two lists, one complete ban,
right?
One who was kind of like on the watch list, and they're given 60 days. Or
yes,
something.
They were on the watch.
Yeah,
they were on the watch list. And Sierra Leone is still on the watch list. And so what I can tell you is that you do have to stay informed. And the problems that we could have, like we do some business in Sierra Leone, so we desire to go back to Sierra Leone. However, we have to be prepared when we come back to the United States for extensive questioning when you go to that country, because they, and even this time coming back, we were questioned. I know I received a lot of questioning, and it happened to be a Ghanaian American at the border crossing as we came back to New York that was asking, question. And I was like, oh my goodness, there's so many questions. I don't want to share all of my business with you. But anyways, that's some of the things. The next thing, even though there are travel bans, Africa's tourism is seeing a boom right now. And some of the countries, I'm just going to list them off right quick. And yeah, they're having a boom in Kenya, Senegal recently has another direct flight from the US on United. So that's kind of putting Senegal forefront, because that's, hey, that's another way you can go. And Senegal, we just need passports. But what's happening, what I did want to say about the travel ban also is that I'm noticing from some of the countries, this is just from our travel, is that some of them have recently reinstated their visa fee. Their visa fee and their yeah, they started asking for us to fill out e-visa online or questionnaire online, and if you're not filling this out online, you you risk the possibility of being turned back. And that's been the experience a lot of people have had. So the best tip is to monitor the travel advisories and that type of thing, because the people are so lovely when you go to these countries, but the politics gets in the way sometimes. So you have to just really like pay attention to it. So the travel bans are there, and yes, uh, I've been listening to some other people talk about it, but they've been in some of the countries where the ban has taken place. So it really affects them, not the ones I think that hold visas. It doesn't affect, but it affects new visas. Say if they wish to travel here, and we can understand why it's happening with Iran, because all that's going on there. It's like, oh my gosh, all of these things affect the travel and so forth. So I don't I, I don't know. It's a lot right now, but I'm gonna let me see. I wanted to show, or maybe not show that.
Yeah. So one of the things is many of the countries, when especially since Trump been in office, actually even when he was not in office, but many of the countries when something happened in America, a lot of these countries they sometimes want to retaliate.
Yes.
So they'll retaliate by, now we're going to charge you for a visa, or at one time in which one was it?
Cape Verde just recently.
Well, not Cape Verde. Was it Botswana or Namibia?
Namibia.
Where they ask all the
Beautiful
American
country.
visa people either to do
To
something
leave.
to leave.
Because they overstayed their visa. So
if they overstayed the visa, right?
So
I mean that's fair, but I guess they were loosey goosey until
they were loosey
recently.
goosey.
But a lot of the countries want to retaliate, and then they did the same thing with the tariffs. They wanted to retaliate. So, and sometimes the countries, they really can't retaliate in a real way, but they get on the microphone and they yell and they scream and they make people feel like they're doing something, but really it's not a whole bunch they can do in some of those situations.
Except for give us a headache as we're traveling through.
Right.
That's why you got to know the policies of
so as you travel, never rely on one YouTuber's advice.
Please don't.
But what you want to do is listen to the advice and then double check.
Yeah.
As you know, that's that old saying, trust but verify. You know?
It's true. It's true. Now, and this type of travel is like, it makes it tedious, but because it's already a lot that you're researching. But now our tip is that you really have to research. You really have to monitor U.S. travel advisories, because like I said, if we wish to travel to Sierra Leone, I think Togo is on the list. We just have to be prepared. They're not going to stop us from traveling to Togo. But you know what? I do think about this. How can you get the visa? They may not be given the visa. I haven't checked that. So I didn't research that to see if you could check for your visa online, because we don't have a multiple entry visa with Togo. So I don't know. You just have to really do your research. So I know that I've been promising the video with the attorney in Sierra Leone. So I'm going to put it on you to get in contact with him, because I think that's very
some
important.
exciting news. that's happening in Sierra Leone. We'll let you know. In our next video, we're going to open up with more exciting news, or the exciting news you're going to need to know.
Yes.
So if you happen to see this, like, subscribe,
yes, please.
And say hello and all that kind of good stuff.
Yes, please. Yes, please. It's very good. So until next time, this was a short one, but we just wanted to pop on right quick and talk about the travel ban. The Ghanaian embassy is open again. Okay, I didn't want to do a whole video on that. It's open, but I have to say this, and I know Jeff will agree with this one, is to just kind of just be mindful of what's happening and kind of just kind of just pay attention. We have to know like the different travel advisories and so forth. So that's it for now. Until next time, God bless you. God bless you. God bless you. Remember to please like, subscribe, and share. We're back. We want to get this information out to people who want to travel to the continent of Africa, and just ask that you share and comment. Until next time, God bless you.